Do guitar strings really make a difference?
Not really. I mean, you can use barbed wire, fishing line. It's all the same.
Hey guys, Scott and Taylor here at Heavy Music.
I'm Scott.
I'm Taylor. Today we're going to talk about guitar strings.
Yeah.
Some of the common ones, do they make a difference for overall tone, your playability?
They absolutely make a difference.
They absolutely do. But it's, I kind of compare guitar strings, and we're going to kind of focus on acoustic guitar strings, because you tend to see a little bit more variance there than you do with nickel wound electric strings. Now, they will make a difference, but with acoustic strings, typically phosphor bronze, it's really quite different.
I'm also a firm believer, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I hope you agree with me. I think that there's not one string that works for every guitar. I think if you have a collection of guitars, which I do, I like Martin SPs on one. I like Elixir or the new ST Diodarios on my Taylor, which is a coated string, but I don't like them on anything else. I like them on that. It's funny. It's like each guitar I think has a different voice that works well with a different kind of string.
That is true, and like everybody's different. Everybody's ear is different. Everybody's preferences are different. We have the awesome job to where we hear a ton of different guitars, a lot of great guitars, all day long. I mean, there's people out there that are like, well, I'm a Elixir Nanoweb 12 to 53 on everything type person, and that's just my string. Mm-hmm. That's okay too. But there are other people, that have a more discerning ear and be like, you know what, I really think this guitar needs a little something different. And that's valid as well. It depends on your preference, but we wanted to talk about some of the most popular strings that we sell and like why we think people buy them or why you should buy them or at least try them out. Scott just mentioned, actually, you know what, let's start with the good old EJ16.
Let's call that the industry standard.
This is the Diodario EJ16.
Phosphor bronze.
Phosphor bronze for acoustic guitar. It is 12 to 53 light gauge.
How many manufacturers do you think use this string from the factory?
A ton. It's probably the most common string on the planet, but it's tried and true. And honestly, it's my string of choice for most things.
Honestly, to me, like a fresh set of EJ16s, just right out of the package on the guitar, it's hard to beat. As far as the most popular, to me, the most easy to get to an all-around string would be this right here.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't last as long as a coated string or anything like that, but boy, when those are fresh, there's almost nothing better.
Yeah, they sound great. They do have a fairly long lifeline, because that's the thing we noticed with other guitar strings too. It's like some brands go dead quicker than others. So like, it's always, and a lot of people love that. I mean, like, I have a friend who has a professional studio, and like he hates changing his guitar strings on his acoustics because he does not like a bright zingy sound on the recording.
They like them to be broken in a little bit.
Jeff Tweedy, I'm a big Wilco fan. Jeff Tweedy wrote in his book, he was like, I hate changing guitar strings. I want it to be as dead as possible because I think it sounds better with my voice. So there's valid arguments there too.
I will say, one little variation on the EJ16 thought. If you've ever tried the Martin SPs, the Studio Performance, they do a slight little variation. They do a bronze plating on the two plain strings, which these are stainless steel in here.
That's right.
And that actually, to me, balances the volume level a little bit. It softens it takes a little bit of the zing off of there.
The zing.
Yeah.
Let's talk. So we're gonna stay on Diodario. Let's talk about XS. XS is a relatively new kid on the block.
Love these strings.
It is Diodario's coded version of like the EJ16, right?
Now, it's my understanding, without getting too technical here, obviously they're not the first ones to do a coated string. Elixir's been doing it for a long time. Elixir kind of started doing it. They take their wound string, and they dip the whole string in a coating. So that coating, it basically runs the length of the string in an even coating. The difference with the XS's, what Diodario does differently, is they only coat their outside wire, their outside wrap. So they take that outside wrap, dip it, and then use that dipped wire to then do the winding around the outside. So what that does is you have the true coils on the string rather than a sleeve over the string.
Yeah.
And it allows them to vibrate a little more freely.
So as far as coated strings go, again, this is my personal opinion. I'm not telling you like for fact what is what. But in my experience, the excesses compared to some of the other coated strings, they maybe don't last quite as long as like an Elixir, but they do have a little bit more of a squishy feel. They feel a little bit more like a uncoated string. They sound a little bit more like a fundamental uncoated string, but lifespan is maybe not quite as long as an Elixir.
Yeah.
Great strings, super popular. We sell tons and tons of XS series. Taylor Guitars uses them exclusively on their guitars. So when you buy a new Taylor guitar, it's got DDR XSs on it. I say exclusively. They actually do a couple different things, but
What did they used to use?
Elixirs.
Elixir.
Which let's talk about Elixir.
Yeah.
Elixir has been one of the top guitar strings for a long, long time now. And
They're probably the longest lasting strings as far as if you don't like to change strings.
For sure.
You'll get the most life out of those than anything else out there.
Absolutely. Amazing for longevity and still a great tone. A little zingier, which can be great if you have a guitar that is a little dull sounding.
Mm-hmm. It'll liven it up.
It'll liven it up. And that's another thing about guitar strings is it's like seasoning on a dish. Like, oh, this needs a little bit more salt. This needs a little more pepper. Well, strings can kind of do the same thing. If this guitar needs a little more pepper, choose this string. If it needs a little more salt, choose this string. So it's a great thing to try different ones out.
Or mustard.
Or mustard.
You wouldn't put mustard on everything.
You wouldn't.
Do you put it on your cereal?
No.
Exactly. That'd be gross.
But for certain things.
Do you put mustard on a banana?
I don't like bananas.
You don't like bananas?
No, I really don't. It's one of the fruits that I just don't like. I don't like artificial banana flavor. I don't like natural
Crazy.
bananas. I like plantains. They don't taste like a banana, no. Anyway, Stringjoy.
Such a joy to use Stringjoy. Yeah.
This is a smaller company.
New kids on the block.
In Nashville. Yeah. They're kind of the new kids. They started out as like mostly custom.
Yeah, they are unique in that if you got a specific gauge you want, they'll put together whatever gauge set you want. You're not stuck with this catalog of predetermined arrangements of strings. Some people want a little heavier, B string.
Yeah.
You want to go lighter on your low E. Whatever that thing that you like. They'll create a custom gauge set for you, and they'll put it together and package it just for you. So.
They do standard sets. The thing about them, too, is they're producing at a smaller level than some of these bigger companies. And so they're really known for like the highest grade wire and like really producing stuff at a high level. And they do. They feel different. They are a little like... I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's just... You can tell that it's a little bit different than the more mass-produced strings. Have a little different feel to them, a little different sound.
Fun fact, our good buddy Robert Keeley, he's got his own custom gauge set of strings that Stringjoy manufactures for him for electric. So.
Amazing. As far as longevity, they do produce coated versions of their strings too. We sell a lot of their standard string. But it's funny to me, like, because of the wire they use and because of like the tightness of the string, I don't even know how to describe it. Their uncoated strings end up sounding to me like a coated string. They have a little bit more brightness, a little more zing. And I think that has to do with the wire they use. Kind of a boutique-y string.
Yeah.
Last one I wanted to talk about, I like these. These are going the other direction from the varying brightness of strings. These are the Martin Retros.
This is like your grandpa's strings.
Yeah, I mean they call them retro because
back in the day, way before my time. I'm the old dude here at 51. But my grandfather, if he had played guitar and he'd go to the drugstore to get his strings, there was black diamonds. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Those black diamonds were usually a Monel string, and
Yeah.
that's all there was. There wasn't like all these boutique companies. There was like one brand of strings with one gauge, and that you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
yeah, you most often see phosphor bronze or 80-20 bronze, but some kind of bronze string on guitar strings now. Monel, like Scott is talking about, is a nickel copper alloy. So these look very gray. They're kind of like a muted nickel color. But I really like these to kind of mellow a guitar out. If you have a guitar that you're like, this thing does sound a little bright, or I want it to have a little bit more... I use this description. I want it to have a little more dust on it. Mm-hmm. I want it to sound more vintage. I want it to sound darker. Retros are a fantastic option. But some guitars just respond really, really well to them. I used to have a Martin D18 Golden Era, and I put retros on it, and somehow it was like what that guitar needed its entire life. It's like, this is the perfect thing for this. One of the best sounding D18s I think I've ever heard.
One time we had a custom shop Taylor in here that was a maple top, which is unusual for an acoustic guitar. Maple is a very hard wood, tends to be a brighter tone wood, and that guitar naturally was very bright to begin with. So we put a set of Monels on it, and it brought this darkness to it. It was honestly, it was like they should have shipped it from the factory with this. This totally changed this guitar for the good.
Yeah. So really it's about finding the right fit for you, finding the right fit for your guitar and what you like. There's tons of great options out there nowadays. And the quality, again, with modern tooling is you don't really get bad strings. It's very, very rare. So everybody produces super consistent stuff. You can go to your store, grab the set you want, and know that it's going to be a good set of strings. It's just deciding what flavor you like.
Yeah, the moral of the story really is, well, two parts. A, Taylor doesn't like bananas. And B, don't put mustard on bananas. It doesn't work.